Pearl River coach Joe Harris here, and Coach, after some time out of the hot seat as football coach, you've been athletic director here for quite a while. You've been here for a long time, and just talk about what it's like to be back into this seat.
It's good to be back. Probably the main reason is because of the staff I have. You know, I got Lab back, I got Boomer back, got some good young coaches in here, so I like to say how they carry me. So.
And having those two head coaches on your staff that have been head coaches, and they've been head coaches here, that's even better for you.
Oh yeah, they know the kids know them. We got a pretty comfortable situation here, we really do.
Coach, we'll start with your offense a little bit, and everything kind of centers around your quarterback and Justin Dean.
You're right, Dean. He's got the speed. He's smart. He works hard, and he's tough.
Yeah.
So.
Your kind of quarterback.
My kind of quarterback. When football's in his hands, it's a good thing.
And he's got some help behind him, and I know you guys like to run the football. Talk about your backfield.
Yeah, got a tailback coming back. He'll be a junior, Corey Warren.
Yeah, and he got extensive playing time. He's both freshmen and a sophomore, right?
We're looking to put it in his hands, a pretty good bit. And then we got Austin Stoddard and Devin Hart playing those slot halfback spots where we're kind of like an H-back type thing. We're going to put the ball in their hand a little bit. So we got some experience with the ball.
And I know you probably lean more towards the run, but going back to Dean a little bit, you got a nice run-pass option, and he's a kid that's going to make good decisions.
Sure. When you have an athlete, you're always like that. You're always looking for ways to put it in his hands.
Right.
So we're in the process of doing that. You put your base in, then you add with him.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're doing.
Okay, and going to the defensive side of the ball, and you got you got Coach Lab coming back as your defensive coordinator, my broadcast partner last year. So Coach Lab and I know a little bit something about each other. But here's some experience with the guy who's DC here, head coach here, DC at North Shore, head coach at St. Bernard High back in the day. Right. To have that kind of experience leading your defense has got to be a good thing.
Sure. I call Lab my associate head coach. He's like a co-head coach. He runs the defense. It's 100% his ball game. I don't even dabble in it at all. Whatever he says goes on defense. He's got old Boomer over there with him, so I'll let him roll with it.
That's an experience. Coach, talk a little bit about your defense, and maybe give me a couple names that we should be watching out for.
We got a 4-year returner, Paul Ushery. He kind of anchors down that D-line for us. Got a good young kid, Hayden Dejon. Mm-hmm. He's a strong safety type, kind of a run plugger, but he can cover a little bit. Got two young inside linebackers, Roy Smith and the Matthews boy, Caleb Matthews. We're high on them. They're young, but they're tough. So we feel pretty good about it.
Talk about your pre-district schedule is one that, I know, and Coach Lab set this up a couple years ago, but just talk about how, it lends itself to giving your kids some confidence right now.
Right. I'm just playing the schedule that was here.
Yeah.
It's never any secret that it gets tougher later in the year.
Right.
So we just got to get better and find a way to compete with those guys.
And speaking of that, you're in a district with a team that went all the way to the Dome last year, and a Lakeshore team that's coming back and powerful again. Franklinton trying to get their feet back under them and get good again. And Salmon had a 9-win season last year, and they got a new coach. Yeah. So, this is really one of the tougher districts in 4A.
We call it the meat grinder.
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough.
It definitely is.
You gotta grind it out with them. So.
Are you looking forward to that part of it? I mean, I know obviously that's 8 weeks down the road or whatever, but I mean, just playing against teams that are going to come at you, and you like physical style football.
Well, the old cliche, one at a time.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm thinking about Cohen. It's pretty much what's on my mind.
Lastly, Coach, just talk about what are the kind of goals that you set for this team coming in, and these kids don't. It's weird that you coached here for a decade or whatever. It's weird that these kids don't really know you as a football coach. What kind of goals do you come in and set for them right off the bat?
I think just the number one goal is to get some stability in the program, so these kids can know what to expect from year to year. Build the numbers up, possibly with the younger kids. Get the numbers up, and just to buy into our systems, be coachable, and try to win every dang game we can.
You like what you've seen so far?
Oh, kids are great. Great kids, man. I wouldn't trade them for anybody.
Good luck, Coach. Pearl River Coach Joe Harris. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.